customization product strategies, you will have Cura. Cura, the first thing is curation. So here we will try to remove all the unwanted choices and make only the appropriate choice what a customer can pick from your product. Then usability, we try to develop a mechanism for eliciting choices. Resonance is resolve the real product need for individualized customer with features that resonate. And anticipate is what you have, what you expect, and try to produce more. For example, let us assume I and you go to a hotel, and in that hotel, if there are bearers available, so then you say, okay, it's a good hotel, there are bearers. Next, if the bearers are all little educated and polite, then you feel, okay, it looks impressive. Now the bearers are well dressed, and then they are speaking good Hindi. They are very polite, and that's the second thing you will see. Suppose if the same person is well dressed, polite, as well as he tries to completely guide you through the menu card, then you feel, wow, what a beauty it is. Now replace all the male bearers with a female bearer, and they are properly dressed. It says, wow, all are female vendor, the suppliers or waitress, and they have a complete hold over the subject. That means to say the menu card, and they are very well dressed, they are very polite, and they are also guiding me through getting a menu card. So what happens is you will say, wow, a hotel is expected to have a waiter or a waitress, but if the waitress is giving more service, and if you see very closely, for the waitress or the waiter, you don't pay money at all. You pay for what you eat, and finally you tip him for the way he behaves, right? So this is what is told as the unwanted means. So how to recommend resonating ideas that customers did not know they wanted. Okay, so Cura is one which is giving a framework to work towards mass customization. So the limits of mass customization, what puts a limitation of this mass customization? The limitation is going to be the highly flexible manufacturing system has to be there. So you should have a machine where in which it can keep changing itself with respect to program. It should have a reconfigurable machines. Say for example, by using this machine, I could make jalebi. The same machine, I just replace the dough and then make it as muruku. Then I replace it and make something else. So now what is happening is I am trying to have maximum flexibility in the machine. And then it can be a CNC machine, it can be a milling machine, it can be an inspection machine, it can be a material handling machine. So all these machines put together fall in the flexible manufacturing system. So mass customization heavily demands flexible manufacturing system. It requires an elaborate system for eliciting the customer information. It requires strong direct to customer logistics systems. People not willing to pay to have everything customized. So these are some of the limitations why even today mass customization is not being followed in the industry. These are the restrictions. Because of these restrictions, you try to have you don't follow mass customization. So mass customization is very interesting. You would like to have a shirt only for yourself. You would like to wear a shoe only for yourself. In the sense, the designing of the shoe is done. You try to design your bag. You try to design your course content. You try to design your room. So if you see that these are all, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to customize it to meet out my requirements or my comfort. For doing all these things, we have to use the concept called as modularity. Today, you have listened to the terminology called mass customization. Mass customization, and you have also listened to one more terminology, which is nothing but modular kitchen. We talk about modular kitchen. So modular kitchen is something which is very much talked about. So this modular kitchen, which we follow in our kitchen. So here, if you see, the space is very clearly identified, and you have frames, you have the shelves properly made for modular concept. Suppose if one is broken, you can quickly replace, or if you wanted to compartmentalize your space, convert your 2D space into an effective 3D space, we follow modularity. In the same way, if you try to take a car, tires are modular, engine is modular, the steering is modular, the audio system is modular, bucket seat is modular, bonnet space is modular, running it by LPG or CNG modular. So all these things are different modules. Depending upon your requirement, you keep tweaking. The AC unit, you want to make a powerful AC unit possible. Okay, so here I have put the different concepts of modularity. If this is followed in your product, definitely you will, and if you follow the four things, what I'm talking about, the sustainability, socio-economic, and innovation. If you follow those, your product should have one of these modularity concepts. So components sharing modularity. For example, you will have a screw. You can have screws which you can have a Allen head. You can have a plus. You can have a negative sign head. So you can use any one of the screws or bolts for meeting of the requirements. Next is component sharing. So you can use multiple components for doing the same operation. That's called as component swapping. For example, I recently bought a watch for my wife, so wherein which the dial is one, and she had 12 different frames, or 12 different what is it, straps. So the straps are of multiple colors. You can try to choose which color strap you want to wear, matching to a saree. And in your saree, if you have multiple colors, so you can also choose the bottom side green and the top side white. So you can do a combination. So what you have done is you are swapping the straps to meet out the requirements. So those things are called as component swapping. Cut to fit model is you buy a jeans pant and then you find out it is lengthier than your height. So then what you do is you buy it and then give it to a tailor in the shop. He cuts it to fit and then you make it. So those things are called as cut to fit modularity. Mixed modularity is nothing but the concept which exists in the printer, basic color printer. So you have this mixed modularity. The next one is the bus modularity. It is almost the same like what is followed in the PCB. Bus modularity we follow. And the last one is sectional modularity. It is the highest level of modularity, wherein which it talks. It is just like your software. So in your software, you can try to write a program and try to solve multiple questions, right? So it is just a software. On a software, whatever input you give, you write an algorithm, and then you get the output. So those things are called as sectional modularity. Okay. So if you want to follow, if you want to have mass customization as your theme area, and if you want to follow the four key terminologies, whatever I said, so then you should always think of developing products which are modular. So when you are trying to develop products, these are this is one of the most powerful tool which is used while developing products. So the technique is called as design thinking. There are 5 steps in design thinking. The first step is called as empathy study. You try to understand what is the problem faced by the customer, and then you undergo the difficulty what he is undergoing. So then what will happen is he will try to tell you what is the difficulty, and based upon the difficulty he will try to sort out to the issues. So empathy study is you trying to wear the shoe of a customer and staying there. For example, we did a small project work for Delhi police.